Imagine having money sitting in your account, knowing you want to build wealth, but still telling yourself, I'll start investing when I understand it better. Sounds responsible, right? But what if that sentence is actually fear wearing a responsible-looking disguise? For many beginners, the biggest obstacle to building wealth isn't a lack of money, it's the fear of making the wrong move. You're afraid of losing what you worked so hard to save, afraid of buying at the wrong time, afraid of choosing the wrong investment, afraid that someone else knows something you don't. So you wait. You save a little more. You research a little more. You wait for the market to feel safer. And suddenly, months become years. Here's the uncomfortable part. Avoiding every possibility of losing money can also mean avoiding the possibility of growing it. Now, this doesn't mean you should throw your savings into risky investments. Quite the opposite. Some fear is useful. It can stop you from chasing hot stocks, falling for scams, borrowing money to speculate, or investing in something you don't understand. The problem begins when fear demands absolute certainty before you take any reasonable financial action, and certainty doesn't exist. Think about someone who spends 5 years learning about investing but never actually starts. Another person learns the basics, builds an emergency fund, starts with an amount they can genuinely afford, diversifies, and keeps learning along the way. The second person isn't necessarily smarter. They simply accepted something the first person couldn't. You don't need to feel completely confident before taking a sensible step. That's one of the most important lessons in investment psychology. The goal isn't to become fearless. It's to become better at making decisions while uncertainty exists. So instead of asking, what if I lose money? Ask a better question. What can I do to make sure one mistake doesn't destroy my financial future? That question changes everything. It moves you from fear to risk management. You build an emergency fund, you avoid unnecessary debt, you learn what you're buying, you diversify, you invest according to your circumstances, and you give yourself enough time for compounding to actually work. Building wealth isn't about eliminating risk. It's about learning which risks are worth taking, which ones aren't, and how much you can realistically afford to take. Because sometimes, the decision that feels safest today can quietly become the decision that costs you the most tomorrow. Your fear isn't necessarily the enemy, but if you let it make every financial decision for you, it can keep your wealth exactly where it started.